really doesn't matter. As long as you're you.
How did you figure it out? Because I've always wondered that. Because you figured it out, and there was like a big turnaround. Like one day you just stopped giving a fuck. It was weird.
It was an event. It was a series of events. It was that I wasn't dating that dirty. You got a lighter over there? I wasn't dating that dirty bitch anymore. That clears your mind of 30%. I had let go a lot of shit that was fucking scaring the shit out of me in LA. And that's 60% of your problem right there. Everybody had me locked in, bullshitting me that you needed to do this and needed to do that. And you know, and all of a sudden I'm watching you and I'm watching these guys that are clean. And they make me laugh, but they're not making me laugh like the guys that are real.
Yeah.
That took a different fucking animal, you know?
I remember us having conversations about it.
Yeah.
Where you were like, you could go do that. I gotta, you know, there's people watching me.
Yeah, no. It was scary. It was scary for no reason.
Yeah.
It was just the bullshit that they put into your head that you can't.
Well, it was no reason, but it was holding you back.
Well, absolutely. Because people could see when you're faking the funk.
Well, not just that. Like, even once you started killing, it was still holding you back. Like, there was still a lot of agents and managers that had a bad opinion of you.
Oh, but listen, they're gonna say whatever you want to say,
but
until you deliver the goods.
That's exactly what it was.
I figured out. I was talking to Tommy Easter today, and I go, Tommy Easter, let me tell you something. You could be the funniest guy in this town. You go in a comedy store every night and fucking destroy that room, even though they're going to see Dane Cook, Eliza Schlesinger. It doesn't matter. You could destroy that room. Nothing matters in this business, just like the mafia, to the size of the envelope on Friday. That's when they pay attention to you. That's when all those naysayers, they eat their words and they jump on the ship with you.
Well, what's interesting is those people are almost useless now.
Useless.
To a young comic.
This has changed.
Yeah.
This has changed. And let me tell you something. I know you hate this talk, but this is the reality of it, because you're an intelligent guy. In 2007, there was a writer's strike. And these motherfuckers played games for 6 or 7 months, and reality TV crept in. There's about to be another writer's strike, May 7th. And if these motherfuckers play games, the internet is going to fuck them up.
Well, where it's not going to fuck them up is things like Game of Thrones or things like House of Cards, like things where you need a lot of money to shoot them.
Oh, listen, let me tell you something. When the going gets rough, you put together one of these late night shows with Brendan and Eddie lighting himself on fire or whatever from 8 to 11 and put a band behind you. People are going to watch you, dog. The internet's going to change the fucking game. If these motherfuckers fuck around on TV, if these motherfuckers don't settle this, if this goes on like the one in 2007, you think Periscope didn't see this coming and all these fucking companies didn't see this coming?
Yeah, but don't you think the writers probably have a point? Like,
the writers always have a point. No, the writers,
without them, there's nothing, right?
The writers always have a point. But listen, it's 2017, bitch. He who hesitates masturbate. This fucking machine over here has been growing since you turned me on to it. It's nothing but a wealth of information and growth, that machine. And more people turn to that. You know, I don't do this. I don't do this because I'm an idiot. But people watch movies on their phones.
Yeah, they do.
People
on phones.
watch the UFC on their fucking phones.
On planes and all that shit.
Okay, my friend.
Yeah.
They'll watch anything on there. Content is endless now. Content is endless. You don't need cable or TV no more if you got a phone. If you're a brokester and you got an iPhone and you're trying to work things out in your life, you could stream Showtime. You could stream HBO. You could stream IFC.
And you can see almost everything.
Everything.
YouTube just came out with like everyone's coming out with an online cable service or TV service, but YouTube's is the best one out there. So far, it's $30 a month, and you get you don't get every channel, but you get a ton of DVR. So it's starting to be where you don't even need anything anymore.
Let them fuck around. Keep fucking around. Keep it up. People are going to figure this out and go, wait a second, I got a good idea for this. I got a good idea for that. 2 cameras, 2 GoPros, and Periscope, and a drummer. And you got yourself entertainment, Jack, for whoever. People watch it. People at home craving this. Our audience is not from 7 to 10 no more like it was 20 years ago. Sorry. It's people from 7 to 5. It's IT people. It's people working gas stations. It's people working construction with earphones on. It's fucking amazing. The loaders at the airplanes, they waved the other day. I'm trying to get on the fucking plane. They waved a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It's very weird. So it's gone to a different fucking level now. This is what we're doing is growing every month.
Well, no one would ever allow you to do this.
No.
There's no executive in this town that would have ever said, "Here's what you need to do, Joey.
No,
You
they
need to
wouldn't.
have a camera pointed at
nobody-
you. You start smoking pot and just talk shit."
Nobody believed you. Nobody would believe you. And it's that easy. It's that fucking easy.
It is for you.
No,
It's not that easy for everybody.
Well, listen, man.
but it's a shot. You have a shot with this.
When Marin first went to his management and said he was starting a podcast, they laughed at him.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it, you know.
Yeah.
This is something that they didn't know it was coming. They're sitting having meetings right now. What are we going to do? How are we going to get a piece of this act? Well, I know that some podcasts are SAG. You know that, right? They have those acting podcasts.
Really? How do they do that?
We read a play.
No.
Fuck yeah. They have series.
Oh, well, series is huge.
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 I firmly believe that the future of entertainment is audio. I honestly do, because it gives you so much more. You're so much more accessible to them. Like you have them for the drive, you have them throughout the workday, and then even at home. How many people do you see when they're watching TV just playing on their phone throughout the entire episode, and they're absorbing what's happening through audio? I honestly think there's going to be a lot.
I've always loved audio.
Oh,
guys.
it's perfect.
I think people don't listen enough. I love audio. I grew up on Richard Pryor albums. We grew up listening. We didn't have specials. I grew up listening to George Carlin. I grew up listening to... I didn't watch fucking Freddie Prinze on TV with a special. How many specials did we see later on? Delirious, Rodney's Young Comedians, but that came later on.
Well, there's definitely a good market for audio, but there's always going to be a market for people watching things too. And if you're talking about people that are sitting down with their phones while they're watching a TV show, like that's so silly. People that do that are so silly. You're playing with your phone while you're watching The Walking Dead or something like that. It's so dumb.
I think I hate it. I don't do it.
Okay, it's just people who are super distracted and childish with the way they look at things if you're doing that. Unless it's a bad show or unless you're like watching a talk show or something like that. But it just seems to me that like if you're going to watch a really good show, you should put the fucking phone down and sit down and watch that thing.
That was fucking tremendous. That was my first Led Zeppelin album. That's the first one I ever had. That took me to a tremendous level. And I would listen to Houses of the Holy. I would listen to Dancing Days. And I was so young that I was scared of No Quarter. So I would skip over it and go to the ocean. You got to be a certain age to listen to No Quarter. You ain't ready for that.
Yeah.
When
I
you're
found
12.
about Led Zeppelin from this girl that lived up the street from me when I was 13. There was a girl that lived up the street that fucked everybody. She was 21 and I was 13. And she fooled around me, but I couldn't get it up. I was too young. But she played Comfortably Numb. The first time I ever kissed a chick. I kissed a 21-year-old chick when I was 13. And she's grabbing my dick, but nothing was going on. I was panicking. But that song, Comfortably Numb, will always be associated in my mind with that
kiss.
girl. And Black Dog. That was the first time I ever heard Black Dog, was this chick. She turned me on to Zeppelin. Turned me on to a lot of good music, man.
That's amazing when they take and you go home and go, what the fuck was that I was listening to?
Oh, I had no idea. Because the only music I had heard when I was 13 was probably, I knew Kiss. I knew about Kiss. I was a Kiss fan already. But I didn't know about that many bands. It was hard. You had to listen to the radio. You know, you couldn't like, I didn't have friends that like turned me on to too much music. It was like, it was hard to find out about good stuff. So when I first found out about Zeppelin, I'm like, how the fuck did I not know about this?
So I got in the car today, this morning at 8 in the morning, and Philadelphia Freedom was on by Elton John. And I started singing it. And my wife is looking at me like, when the fuck did you learn these lyrics? I go, Doug, this is 6th grade on Fridays. Mr. Levito will let me go up in front of the class at 1 o'clock, and I would sing Philadelphia Freedom. I'd lip sync it. And My Eyes Adored You by Frankie Valli and shit. I used to take motherfuckers deep with fucking Elton John. People don't remember Elton John. Every once in a while I get caught up in Elton John. I can't even go in the house.
Country Comfort?
A Funeral for a Friend. Last week something was on. Daniel, my friend. And there's 2 gay guys live across the street from me. But they're the fucking weirdest gay guys because they don't go out. They don't do nothing. They sit in that fucking house all day. I want to kick that door down and go, did anybody tell you you're fucking gay? Get out there. Dick is free. Sperm is free. You go to Santa Monica, you know what? Dick is free. Free. These two gay guys stay in the fucking, and they're not gay together.
What?
They're not together.
They're roommates?
They're roommates, and they never fucking go out. Every once in a while in the daytime, they take a cruise. They're in front of the house feeding cats. So the other day I got out of the car, I was listening to Elton John, and I was blasting. I was stoned. And the weed and the music just connect as one. And I pulled up to the house, and they were like out there. And I opened up the window, and I go, nobody in this country remembers when Elton John used to sling dick like a motherfucker. And they just looked at me, looked at each other, went in the house. Nobody in this country, and nobody gave a fuck he was gay. Like, you had an idea him and Bernie Taupin were gay, but he could be, but who gives a fuck, dog? Street fighting man, whatever. All that shit was just brilliant, anybody, that song, it's a little bit sunny or funny, that shit, everybody knows that fucking jam. You broke up to that, you gave a girl your first hickey, you fingered somebody to that, there's always some.
Rocket Man,
too. What's the one in what's the movie about the young kid who was the writer? And they all got on the Tiny Dancer. What is it? And they all were singing it on the fucking bus, and you were feeling it. You're God damn, how good of a fucking song is that? When a band, and that's supposed to be who? That's supposed to be theoretically and almost famous. Wasn't that supposed to be Led Zeppelin or somebody big time that they were writing about when they were on the bus?
I thought it was Morrison. Wasn't it supposed to be
I don't
Morrison?
know. No.
I'm not sure.
I don't think it was the Doors. Well, although speaking last Friday night, fucking the Doors live at the Hollywood Bowl was on. If you haven't seen that, smoke a number, get some fucking juju juice, whatever the fuck you
Speaking of smoking a number, these e-cigars, I never even heard of an e-cigar before.
Man.
These are fucking good.
Yeah.
It tastes like a cigar. It's amazing.
And they have different levels of nicotine. Because I'm not a smoker, so I got zero just to try it out. It tastes the same.
I can't.
It's great.
I gotta put the. This is great. I love this. You
It
go to a
tastes
casino,
like a real cigar.
I go to Vegas. I don't feel like an asshole no more now. You go to a casino, you don't feel like an asshole no more. It's discreet. Whatever. At least it saves you. You don't want to. You know why I hate getting cigars? Because I spend $30 on a cigar and I smoke half of it. And then what am I going to do? Put it in a baggie in my pocket like a Puerto Rican and walk around with it?
They always taste like shit.
Yeah, no, I can't. So when do you have time to actually sit there for 4 fucking hours?
You can get a little one. Get a smaller one.
Yeah.
Well, on the East Coast, they have cigar lounges, or where they have nice leather furniture and you can get a drink. That's really fun.
They have one right next to the Improv.
Do they really?
Yeah, they have a few
They've
out
had
here.
that one. They've had that. Yes,
I haven't seen any out here.
Kevin James and I used to go to Fat Stogies in Studio City, across the street from Jerry's Deli.
Oh, I didn't know they had them. They were so much fun.
God damn it!
What?
God damn it! I
What
had
happened?
something for you. I didn't print it up. My friend sent me a poster, a picture that's really a poster. He's going to give it to me in New York of the #1 pool hall in Cuba in 1951, when it was booming. Dog, 200 motherfuckers in there, dressed impeccably. Like no jeans, like suits on, women with minks on, little things with champagne on buckets, and these motherfuckers are shooting pool, and you can see the daylight come over the beach and shit. God damn, Cuba, 1951.
Isn't it crazy how Cuba used to be like the
This was the
playground?
place. This was the place.
They all would go there. Kennedy would go there. The mob would go there. Everybody went to Cuba.
Actors, ambassadors. It was just
Everybody.
that place to go.
Well, how long of a plane ride would it be from Miami? 20 minutes? How long could it possibly be?
40 minutes or something.
It's not even Vegas.
90 miles, so it's from here to San Diego.
Yeah, that's not even half the trip to Vegas.
They have to do a circle just to feel.
Just to make it worth it?
Listen, let me tell you something. United has blown for years. I took them into Newark one time. No fucking TV. No fucking shitty food. First class was like fucking garbage into Newark. That's why I don't fly into Newark no more. I love whatever Virgin, but they can't get me back from Newark. So I'm going to end up at Kennedy anyway.
Yeah.
So no.
Newark's not a good airport.
Ari
don't like
used to
flying
bitch
in there.
about it. Ari used to bitch about it constantly. Fuck Newark. You know what? My life's a lot easier, believe it or not, when I land in JFK.
Yeah.
It really is.
Smooth.
Worst case scenario, you go to fucking the Palms and get a steak and eggs.
Yeah.
Like a gentleman and a Bloody Mary, and you sit it out. There's tons of entertainment at Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
You get a massage. You get your feet rubbed. They got fucking everything at Kennedy. Dog, I thought you flew out okay. It was horrible. It was horrible.
No,
and I'm like you. I waited 10 minutes. I had already a book 3 o'clock, but it got in at 7:41, and I didn't trust it.
Yeah.
I went to Southwest was empty. Everybody was there. When I got there, it was kids at the airport, all going to fucking spring break. I went to United. They had nothing. I went to Delta. Delta was done. And I went to the other one, JetBlue, and JetBlue was done until tomorrow, until Sunday. I was like, you know what? I got my 340. I'll take my chances.
Yeah.
Before I left the hotel, I called, and they go, the plane that you're going from to L.A. is already in Chicago. It landed from Rome this morning. It's already ready to go. It's on time. And the other one was on time, and you know what? Everything was smooth, knock on wood. It took me 25 minutes up to 405 to get home on Sunday. It was empty.
Yeah, you have options in other places, but if you fly to a place like Buffalo, there's not a lot of options, you know? It's like if you're flying out of Bozeman, Montana or something like that, like, good luck.
Listen, bro, I can't get a direct ticket from Milwaukee to Detroit. The flight is longer from Milwaukee to Detroit than what it is from fucking LAX to fucking Milwaukee.
Really?
How the fuck did that happen? I got to fly into Chicago.
It's a tough business. The business of selling airline tickets, and flying people around.
Not really.
You got to make money.
Not really.
Well, you got to think, who the fuck's flying in and out of Buffalo? So in order for them to have packed, I mean, what's there, right? Other than the UFC, like when you have a big event or a football game or something like that, if there's not that.
A lot of people connect to go to Canada. A lot of people fly to Buffalo. Those planes are always pretty fucking packed.
The airport was empty.
At 3 o'clock, the airport was completely empty when I walked in. Everybody flew out earlier. And I'll tell you what, when I landed at LAX, empty.
LAX was empty?
Empty. I couldn't fucking believe it. I've never seen it like that. I was like, wait a second.
No one could get back in. Have you guys boycotted an airline? Because like it's weird. You can't. They have you over a barrel. You can get as mad as you want at them, but some airlines only fly certain places, and they're the cheaper ones, so you got to fly them sometimes.
I bet a lot of people are going to boycott United after that.
Yeah, but until their next vacation, like not many. Like you guys fly a lot more than most people fly.
Yeah.
I think when most people fly, it's just whatever airline's cheapest.
Yeah, but if people have an option now, I think they're going to choose.
My first choice is always American. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going. If I go to New York, I'm only going Delta or the other one. America sinks your boat.
Virgin's great, but they're going away. Virgin's not going to be around anymore.
Where are they going?
They're merging with somebody.
Alaska. For some weird that like I don't know why.
Dog, I took Alaska Airlines. That was the only direct flight into Baltimore. Was Alaska fucking Airlines a red eye?
They do all right. Alaska does all right.
And they fly me to Portland from Burbank.
Yeah, they're good to Seattle too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Tremendous. Not bad. So that's the end of Virgin. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, the leader right now is that Mint. And I know you. I know the type of guy you are. Yeah, I know the type of guy you are. They got a door. They got a door. And there's a latch right here that closes your door. So you go, and the door goes, ah, like a Batman movie. It just closes real fast. When they bring you the food, they press the latch and the door opens. And that's how she gives you the food, like Prisoner 44.
I don't even know what you're saying. I don't even know what it looks like.
I put the sleep apnea machine right here.
I think it's like a pod, like those international first class.
See if you can find one.
JetBlue.
JetBlue.
I like Delta to Kennedy. It's very nice. Yeah. Very nice. They got the lay down bed and shit.
I'm getting real tired of flying.
I know.
I'd like to do a residency in Los Angeles. Everybody goes to Vegas to do a residency. How many fucking people are there in L.A.? You could sell out L.A. every weekend if you had a club. Like just a club?
Playa del Carmen down there. Got a nice club down there right by the airport.
Where's Playa del Carmen?
By our friend. That's where he has Brendan has the office down there. Nice and clean down there, Joe Rogan.
That's a good spot, but anywhere down by the ocean takes forever to drive. That's what it looks like? The pod? Let me see this thing. Let me see it close up. Ooh, that's nice. That's JetBlue?
Yeah, I'm dog.
Is this a new thing?
Yeah.
How many of these do they have?
They have, you can only go from here to Boston or here to JFK.
So the whole plane is filled with these things?
No, the front row, it's like 8 rows, but you get an even number, and you're by yourself in the cubicle.
So it's like essentially like first class. So they're doing first class.
There you go. That's by yourself. That's by yourself. They see that little box they give you? They give you a thing to cover your eyes. They give you a blanket. They give you a pillow. The bottled water is behind your left arm. You can't even fucking see it. You know how most no, and it's got a statue. You can put your bottled water right in there. You got movies. I saw The Godfather 2 on the way there. That's the
What?
refrigerator and the cheap seats.
You have a
ju-
refrigerator.
Yeah, you just get up and help your fucking self.
This is for everybody. Yeah.
This is for everybody. That's so mid-flight, you don't got to bother nobody. You get up, you get your fucking soda. These people getting, it's 2017.
Wow.
But those front rows, I'm telling you, dog, tremendous. I was blown the fuck away.
That's just like first class. And that goes to Kennedy?
Goes to Kennedy, but not from Burbank. Me and Boss Rutan had this conversation because Boss was like, "You got to get on Mint." I go, Burbank, there's no Mint because it's a small airport.
Right.
So the bigger plane can't land on there.
Oh, is that what it is at Burbank?
Yeah.
Oh, that
A
makes
lot of
sense.
flights.
That makes sense. I always wondered why there's
And
no
they don't
first
land
class.
in Newark either.
Nothing out of Burbank does? Two small flights,
No,
probably.
small flights. No, JetBlue doesn't fly into fucking Newark.
Oh. Well, you don't want to fly into Newark. Even if I work in New Jersey, I usually don't fly into Newark. I fly into New York.
Have you ever flown into Atlantic City?
Yes. When I did the UFC there, I did.
Right from here?
I think. I don't remember. It was
I gotta
it was
check
so
it
long
out.
ago. I did the Borgata. Did you do the Borgata with me?
Yes.
It was fun.
With Militich.
It's one of the few places. Like the Borgata is one of the few places, and Henzo Gracie showed up too. Remember?
Yeah,
he was howling at your shit. That's right.
They were crazy.
I remember. Henzo Gracie is a fucking maniac. He thought he like the dirtier, the crazier you got, the more he was like, ah! He was fucking flopping around in his seat laughing.
I always walk past that place. I'm scared to walk in.
Henzo's
Yeah.
in New York.
There's a killers.
They are killers,
There's
but they're
killers.
super nice guys.
It's a horror show.
You'll get tapped out, but they'll be nice to you.
Oh my God.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, I'm scared of those New York schools. I always make plans. Yeah, I'm gonna go over there after Norton show and show up.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
He's a great guy, though.
I get in that goddamn Uber and I shoot right back to that ferry, Jack.
Yeah.
And I don't look back. Fuck you. They'll kill you. All of a sudden it became an hour 10 plus. They doubled the price. So
there's all those fees,
trust
like
me,
9/11
dog.
fee
There's
and-
times the plane in Vegas has been 50 minutes behind, and they still got me here on time. You know what I'm saying? Like from Vegas to Burbank, they know it's not that fucking.
You really think they take a circuitous route? Really?
They kill some.
Why would
time.
they do that?
Because how guilty would you feel if you took somebody for a half hour from here to Vegas?
It's not a guilty
charged
thing.
them $234 fucking dollars.
The fuel costs so much money. They'd be crazy to do that.
I don't know, dog.
Yeah, they'd be crazy to do that. The
think-
fuel is the number one problem with air travel. The reason why they have to jack the rates up all the time is jet fuel keeps getting more and more expensive.
Are you serious?
As car fuel gets more expensive, jet fuel gets more expensive.
Car fuel's not that bad right now.
It's not that bad right now. But do
$3.60
you
or
do you
something.
remember when Bush was leaving office?
Yes.
Ron White started flying commercial, and that's when he got busted with weed because his fucking cunt ex-wife, I don't know her, maybe she's a nice lady, I'm just on Ron's side, but she ratted him out and said he was going to be at the airport with weed in his pocket. So the cops met him at the airport with his luggage and busted him.
They
His
did a
wife ratted him
sting
out.
for a little bit of weed?
Yep, a sting for a little bit of weed. You can Google it. He went to fucking. I mean, I don't know if he got arrested, went to jail, but he definitely got popped at the airport, and it's because he was always flying private. Because he was doing the fucking blue collar tour, just balling out of control.
Did you know Bill Murray got arrested for weed? I read that today because I was reading something about him and his relationship with the guy who just died. He got arrested with like bales of weed.
Bales.
It was a lot. I'm gonna have to look it up. I read an article today about like the relationship, and he wasn't paying rent, and him and his brother had like 17 something crazy, like huge amount of weed. Let me look it up.
You know, he took like a long time off of movies.
And Bill Murray's got a brother who's a priest. Like a big time fucking priest somewhere. Like I've heard this a couple fucking times. Bill Murray's is Irish. He's Irish. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was arrested with 10 pounds.
What year?
Let's see, 1970.
Whoa, that's when 10 pounds was
but that
really 10
before
pounds.
Acting. That's before acting. That's pre-acting.
Still amazing.
Yeah, he got,
Was it? Was that before Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, Saturday Night Live was 73, 74, 75.
He only got probation. He got 5 years probation for it.
Yeah. Wow. First time offense, 10 pounds.
10 pounds, a lot of fucking
I'm
weed.
addicted, Your Honor. I can't stop smoking marijuana. I can't stop smoking marijuana and eating white chicks.
And you tell the stories about bringing guns back from Colorado to New York every other weekend.
You know, Bill Murray's the real deal, man. When he played the guy first, Gonzo, He played the
Yes.
writer first in
Where the Buffalo Roam.
Buffalo roams. He really, that's where I saw him. I saw him in fucking Woody Creek Tavern, and he was sitting with the dude.
He's preparing for it.
Yeah, like at
He
this
did a
fucking
great fucking job in that movie.
Yes,
a lot
he
of
did.
people sleep on that.
Nobody ever saw it. Nobody even knows that movie exists.
I have that movie.
You have it at home.
I
Yeah,
own. I'm a
I-
huge Hunter S. Thompson fan.
Yeah, that is when he answers the phone, when he's arguing with the dude, or he's talking to him real mildly, and he just answers the phone. He goes, "What?"
Yeah.
I lose it every time. I know where I saw that movie the first time. Where were we the other night? What were we watching the other night that people were going?
Blues Brothers.
We were in the Brea Improv watching Blues Brothers. Me, him, Matt Fultron, losing it.
The scene at the bar.
At the bar. Losing it. That when they play and they get hit with the bottles and they do Stand By Your Man, fucking Belushi was just on a different level.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if do you say it's the drugs? I'll tell you, when you do that many drugs and you wake up the next morning, the next day you're very unconscious. The best days I had as a salesman were nights I felt my spine tingling. You know what I'm saying? Were nights that I fucking felt the electric jolt of cocaine. I would be a sports salesman, and I would wake up and go in there, and by 12 o'clock I'd made $3,000.
Is it like a hangover, or what is it like?
It wasn't. It was a hangover, but I'm unconscious. I really don't know what I'm doing. When you think about things and you go into something and you think about it, you can't really. It's when you don't think about it. It's when you're just flowing. And I would just flow, and the guy would say, "Joey,
No nerves.
what is it on Saturdays? You always do great." And I remember I used to snort so much coke then that I couldn't even get sprays to open up my nose. So I would take 2 tissues and just stick them up my nose so the drain. And I would sit there all day with 2 tissues. They would look at me and go, "What's up?" "Nothing."
At the car dealership?
No, at
No,
this
sports
fucking-
dealer.
Oh,
at the
sports betting.
So I'd be on the phones talking, but even with cars, my best days were after a 10-hour fucking binge-a-thon,
Wow.
It's fucking amazing. Last night I was telling you guys I went to the Dodger game with my uncle. Now, this is the same uncle that we pulled guns on each other 25 years ago. This week is the 30th anniversary.
Of you guys pulling guns on
We
each
pulled
other?
guns on each other in September of '84 on Vermont Boulevard here.
Really? Down
30
here?
Yeah, right in California. My uncle lived, my mother's brother. Blood. Not like, oh, we're brother. No, blood. Grew up together, Cuba, the same house. Lives in Glendale. Always has. Since I used to come out here when I was a kid.
That's not mine.
I used to come out here when I was a kid. I don't know whose fucking buzzer that is.
It's not mine. I don't have one of
So-
those dings.
When I first came out here, God damn it. When I first came out here, I came out here when I was 8, 9, and 10. And we go to Dodger games, SeaWorld, Malibu. We go to his different jobs. And then when my mother died, I could have came back with him. But I was like, California, what the fuck do I know about California? I kept in touch with him. And then when I was 21, I said, fuck New York. People were looking for me. I got to get out of town. So I came out here, and I tried to give this a go, and he wasn't going for it, Joe Rogan. He was like, you got a room upstairs, you got a week to get your shit together. If you don't get it together in a week, you got to go, dog. And I was like, I thought you were my mother's brother. But he threw me out, and I couldn't take it, so I tried to rob him. I couldn't go home with nothing, so I pulled guns. He pulled guns. The cops came. The cab came. Because I was robbing him as he pulled up, and he called the cops, and the cab came. So I swore to God, I go, next time I see him, I'm going to fucking shoot you, you motherfucker. I mean, this was terrible. This was horrendous.
Didn't you call him from prison? Was it him?
Oh, I used to call him from prison and tell him that one matali, hueputa. I used to tell him, I'm going to fucking call you. And he would say, you'll say, I know who this is. I'm going to come after you. And I would hang up on him. I was pissed. I was pissed about
And now you're going to Dodger games with him.
Yeah, man. It's the
We had him on the podcast.
We had him on the podcast.
Do you think you could ever live in Manhattan?
We had this discussion with somebody a few weeks ago, and they showed the rent of where I grew up on 88th Street, and I nearly shit my pants.
Oh, it's insane.
The same place where I grew up now, I think it was, what was it, $7,000 for a 1-bedroom?
That's not even outrageous. Yeah. The money there is so crazy, it makes you wonder how anyone can afford to live there other than like really wealthy people.
If there's any city that gives me anxiety, it's New York City at night anymore.
Yeah?
I've gotten to the age that I've gotten very comfortable here. And when I go play the stand on Thursday nights, I stand on the corner before you go in, and I actually fucking can't take the cars anymore. Like the speed, that electricity, I'm not used to it anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it fucks with me a little bit. So on Thursdays, I don't go into the city no more. I just wait till I go to the shows, and it's weird how when you're from that area, it takes you a couple days to acclimate. Like I was getting on the ferry, and I was getting bullied on the ferry.
You?
Yeah, getting bullied. Straight up, people walking in front of me and shit. But I'm from L.A. I don't need this aggravation.
Like
So Thursday,
these days they were doing that?
oh, they're fucking rude motherfuckers. The people who live on the Jersey side and they work in New York, they think their shit don't stink, so they cut you off, and you overcome it because you're an adult and you don't give a fuck. By Saturday, some lady pregnant with a fucking thing was trying to cut me off, and I finally go, oh, relax. Like, you forget that you're a nice person. Like, you forget.
Wow.
People not opening up doors, like people pushing. You're like, you know what? I'm from a different civilization. Like people, you forget. And then you toughen up by Saturday, but then you'll leave on Sunday anyway. So what's the toughness for?
You know what I've been saying for a while is that what's going on in New York and what goes on the entire East Coast with the difference between the way people behave there versus out here is that they're still too close to the people that first landed there. Like the people that first landed there, like my grandparents and their families, they came over from Europe, Italy, and Ireland and everything like that. Those were barbarians. Those people were animals. I mean, you just think about life, like you're talking about the Depression, right? This is all my grandparents came like when the Depression was going on. It was a hard world. People were tough and they were mean. And you got fucked with, and my grandfather used to tell me horror stories about getting bullied, and they call him a guinea wop, like and just mean shit and beating him up, and just everybody was mean.
Well, they were the Arabs of today.
Yeah,
that's how you have to look at it.
Hard, mean world.
If it was today, Trump would ban fucking travel to Italy.
Yeah, probably.
No, I saw that documentary, and it was the most interesting thing I ever saw. And it really taught me a lot about that culture I grew up around, because it always seemed very interesting to me. HBO did a 2-part special on Sinatra. In the first part, they discussed his childhood in Hoboken and how at that time the Irish were the oppressor.
The oppressor?
The oppressor. So the Guineas weren't allowed past 9th Street.
Really?
Which really fucked with them. Then stuff happened and the Italians, grew, and then they got past 9th Street. But Sinatra always had that mentality of I was never allowed over 9th Street. You gotta watch it. It's fucking interesting.
Oh.
Plus, I understood the people I grew up with from North Bergen. See, Hoboken is moving on up to North Bergen. We're gonna get a house up in North Bergen. We got a front yard. You know what I'm saying? Like, half of the people I grew up with, their roots are Hoboken. So when I watched that special on Sinatra,
North Bergen was better?
North Bergen was more residential, where Hoboken was more... tenements and 3 floors and, North Bergen. Once they built North Bergen, a lot of people moved to North Bergen.
There used to be a club there. There used to be a club in Hoboken. What was it? It was a stand-up club there.
I do not remember. I was long gone by. They still do stand-up there. Danny Aiello has a room on Tuesday nights. They've been really trying, like, over the years to do stand-up there. I did a benefit for the Hoboken Police Department.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, a long time ago.
I did the club there in like 91 or 92 or something like that. And they had pictures all over the wall the time Eddie Murphy stopped by. That's all I remember. Like Eddie Murphy was here at one point in time. Like, they had like a photo and it said, like 1989 Eddie Murphy. It was like 3 years ago. And everybody's like, oh, remember that time? 3 years ago? Eddie Murphy came down there.
Fuck, I didn't know there was a comedy club in Hoboken. When I started in Denver. When I went back, the big club was Rascals and the other one, but there was also Main Street Showcase. It was always. I saw Bill Bellamy on the plane one time, and I was talking to him about it. He goes, "Yeah, that was my roots, Main Street Showcase."
Bill Bellamy, I forgot about
Jay
Bill
Moore.
Bellamy.
Jay Moore, all those guys were from that part of New Jersey, and when Florentine came in here, him and Norton are from like South Jersey, Middle New Jersey. And they moved to Northern New Jersey, got an apartment, and they were all Jersey guys. Like they're Jersey guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't take them seriously.
Yeah, right?
He was saying that
was the
nobody
thing
took him
with Norton.
seriously.
Yeah, Norton always had that. It like bothered him.
You're not funny till you move to New York.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Like, you have to go to New York to be taken seriously. If you live in New Jersey, you're just a hack. You're telling fart jokes and shit, you know?
Those clubs in Jersey are brutal. I mean, Bananas is club, the one by
Bananas
Fort
is
Lee.
brutal.
And it's brutal. You do comedy on a ping pong table.
Did
But
you
it's
do the
fun.
one in Poughkeepsie?
I did the one in Poughkeepsie
I did that one.
a couple of times. That's in a ballroom, Lee.
Yeah.
And it's next to a gas station. That's as good as it gets, dog. And they put you in a downstairs room, and when I tell you it's fucking freezing, it's fucking freezing. They got one diner in the lobby, and it's the worst food you've ever eaten in your life. Even if they give you the 30% off, you'd rather fucking starve to death. That's how bad that place is. And you're stuck up there for 2 fucking nights next to a gas station. That's it.
I worked up there with Tony V. Do you know Tony V?
Fuck yeah.
I worked up there with Tony V. I was the middle. He was the headliner. And some lady kept flashing the light while I was on stage. I was supposed to do, like, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, something like that. And at like 10 or 15, she's flashing the light. And I ignored it. I just did my set. I got off stage. And she goes, okay, I don't know if you know how we do it here, but you can't do that language at this club. And I remember saying, like, what are you talking about? Like, I was laughing because I was already moved to New York. I was already getting work. I already had Sussman as a manager. I was like, what? And she was like, you're going to have to change your act to work. I go, no, I'm not. I go, what are you, the manager here? I go, I got booked here. I got booked here by the owner of the club. I go, I'm going to do my act. They know what my act is. I go, you don't like it? So you want me to change? And, like, she looked at me and, you know, like, she didn't expect that. And I just raised my eyebrows and I just walked away. And I just finished out the weekend, and she never spoke a fucking word to me again. She didn't say hi. She didn't look at me.
Isn't that great when you have to fucking...
Every once in a while,
you got to drop a bomb on a motherfucker.
But
and
she-
they'll just look at you like, what?
She was talking to me like she was the manager at Wendy's, and I was the fry boy. She's like, I don't know if you know how this works here. You know, like, she's like the lady that takes the tickets. You know how the clubs, they're all in a hotel, you know? Like, Bananas was in a hotel, right?
Yeah, both of them. Both of them.
So she just decided she didn't like my act, you know, because I talked about sex. So she's just decided that I was going to have to change my act. I don't know. I'll never forget her face. I don't know if you know how we do it here, but you can't do with that language here. Oh, fuck you.
No, let me tell you something.
It's amazing, those people.
It looks like an apple. He has to go to Huntington Beach to buy them. He brought walnuts, organic walnut, and something else. For the last 50 years, he doesn't eat like a Cuban person. He eats like a fucking Gentile from Studio City. But he goes nuts like organic milk, because whole milk makes you swell up, you inflame. I mean, he didn't stop. Every time I see him, it's a fucking ear beating. He brings his own eggs to a diner and makes them cook them. Yeah, he don't like regular eggs like you. He don't believe in eggs from the store. He don't.
They are very different.
He's got to fucking get his own eggs, or they got to eat organic grass.
I should have brought you over some eggs.
Oh, I could just imagine how delicious are real fucking eggs.
I get almost a dozen eggs a day.
And how
A
great
day?
are they?
Yeah.
How
I got
great are they?
24 chickens.
And how great are the eggs?
Oh, they're tremendous. They look different. The yolk is like a dark orange, and they taste different. They taste better. I mean, I get them fresh.
fresh. Yeah,
Like I'm eating eggs that just came out of the chicken that day.
How long? I never understood how chickens do they have to have sex? Because
No.
it's not. Is it like sex, or do they just keep laying eggs?
No, they lay eggs every day. If the hen fucks them, the eggs are live. Then the eggs become a chick. But if the rooster doesn't fuck them, then they just lay eggs. I don't have any roosters, so the hens they lay eggs. They're just duds. They lay them every day.
Oh, those are duds?
Yeah, they're duds.
Oh, wow.
They could never become a person. Never could become a chicken. I didn't know that either until I got chickens.
Yeah, I never, because I knew they did it every day, but I was like,
Well,
they
that's
can't.
why it's crazy that vegans won't eat chicken eggs. Like, they cannot become a chicken. It's impossible. And look, if you go by my house, my chickens are like my friends. Like, they come and hang out. Like, Jessica loves them. Their chickens are the kids love them. They're little animals, man. Like, look, they're hanging around the yard.
You
Those
pet
are
them?
chickens. Oh, you can pick them up. Yeah.
You pick them up and everything? Oh my God, they're beautiful.
Yeah, I got 24 of them.
And you have a little place for them and everything?
Oh, yeah, they have a big house. They have a chicken house. I had it built. They go wandering around my yard.
And then at night they go back in there?
They go back in on their own.
Now, no drama from the animals?
There's been, no, not from my dogs, no, but there's been coyote drama and hawk drama. The hawks see them, and the hawks are trying to get in on them. But the area where they're at, there's a lot of trees, and they go under the trees. And so the hawks have to have an area to swoop in, grab them, and then swoop back out. And they're a little too big for that. So now, but when they were little, there was one of them turned up missing. I'm pretty sure a hawk got one of them, one of the smaller ones. It was a long-ass time ago. But the coyotes go around the fence, and they look in every now and then. I catch them looking in. I'm going to get a fucking pistol, an air pistol. Set them up.
That's amazing.
Put a little cat food out there. Pink, pink, pink.
No, my uncle makes everybody hands down look bad. Like he drove me. Yeah, it's amazing. No rice, no nothing.
Just eats real healthy.
He's been juicing for 50 years. He's like, these fucking jackalopes, they think they invented something. Me and Jack LaLanne had a talk 50 years ago, and he told me about juicing.
Did he really ever talk with Jack LaLanne?
Said he bumped in.
Jack LaLanne was the guy that was doing that a long time ago. He would take like a fucking giant bowl of vegetables and juice them down.
Juice them down. So my uncle said when he came out here in 50-something, he came out here to be somebody's maintenance man. He was working in New York as a maintenance man in a building, and an actor lived in the building that was a soap opera guy. And he goes, I got a big house in L.A. Could you come out there and be a maintenance man? There's a house there in the back for you. You could live back there. My uncle's like, fuck it, I don't want to live in New York anyway. When he came out here, then the guy had some TV show. So my uncle would go down to the studio, and he said he met, that he was, like in Spanish, it's really funny. He was telling me how he was mesmerized with Jack LaLanne. This guy used to do push-ups with one fucking hand, you know. Like the Cubans, that's huge. He was a fucking savage. And he always said then that you always should eat a carrot blended or something.
Yeah.
So my uncle said, what? And the onions. I mean, I heard Jack LaLanne used to go fucking
Garlic, yeah.
Garlic. It's a shame. And he was the original juicer. So he's been juicing. He juices. He only has a certain, he hasn't eaten sugar in 50 years.
The word is that Jack LaLanne would fuck everything that moves.
Female or male?
Male.
Oh.
No, female. No, female.
You know, when I was a kid, I remember waking up, and that motherfucker had an exercise show at 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
with the suit.
Oh, yeah.
He had the suit, so you never know. I don't know.
Jumpsuit.
The little fucking jumpsuits.
No, he would, he was eating healthy before everybody. He was working out like deep into his 60s and 70s. He was doing stunts. Or like for his 60th birthday, he towed like 60 boats behind him, like swimming. He did a bunch of really crazy shit like that. Like he was in incredible fitness, incredible shape. But yeah, fucked everything. You couldn't go near him, even when he was older. When he was older, which makes sense. I mean, why would he be so motivated to have such a great body, like deep into his 50s and 60s?
Dog, if you work out that much, you know you're fucking horny as fuck.
Yeah, your testosterone's flying.
When you throw metal around and shit, and push-ups and pull-ups. You got dick for 3 or 4 people that day. You really do. You really do. When you lift weights and shit, like when I was going at kettlebell gym, like really like the fucking deadlifts and shit, I had dick for days. Like I could jerk off, give somebody a stabbing, and at 2 have to bang one out again standing up. That's the worst. You got to bang one out standing up in your bathroom, hiding against the door and shit.
Yeah, there's something pathetic about jerking off standing up. I haven't done that in a long time.
Oh, that's a disgusting way when you have to bang one out in the shower and then you lay. I like hotels because you lay down on your back and it just comes on you like a fountain. You don't give a fuck. It's your own cum.
My married friend, since he has to do it into the toilet, like he does it on his iPhone in his bathroom because of his girlfriend.
Oh
my god!
Yeah, he should be shot and hung.
Oh god, that's sad.
I would never just shoot it into a toilet. You gotta play with it.
Well, see, the thing is too about like when you're away, like if you go away, like if you do like a comedy or something like that, where you go on the road, you come back home and you miss your girlfriend, you miss your wife, you're looking forward to seeing her again. But when you're with someone all the time, and you can't even jerk off because like you're at work all day, you can't jerk off at work. You get home, she's home. You're there together every night, day in, day out, the monotony and the grind, and then you're jerking off into a toilet. There's just something just defeating about it. It takes all the zest out of life. You're just hiding in the bathroom. Why are you in there for so long? What are you doing in there?
I don't like that. I like working. I
have to get a Q-tip. Why is the door locked? What are you doing? You've been in there for 5 minutes. What are you doing? You're in there just concentrating. jerking off, downward jerking. Because you don't want to miss the toilet. You don't want to shoot all over the top. You don't want to upper deck your load.
I don't think that's accurate about that. I've jerked off everywhere. I have found a way. Like there's times you're sitting there, and you're like, you know what? I got 10 minutes. Right? You never whacked off when you were in the trailer for your factor.
Oh, I whacked off.
Fuck yeah. You never whacked off when you were editing?
In an office? No.
Why not? You're by yourself.
You ever whack off driving?
Fuck yeah.
I've not fully, but I've like gotten horned up. But I've never. I can't imagine coming on like in the
I
car.
fucking wiped
Have you
off.
really?
Yeah, fuck yeah. You look for an old McDonald's bag, you wipe that fucking sperm on it.
I get nervous when I sneeze when I'm driving.
Throw
How
in
do
the
you?
back seat.
How
That
do you not
thing
get in an
turns green
accident?
in 3 fucking days.
I only whacked off once while driving, and I remember after I jerked off while I was driving, I was like, great. Now I jerk off in the car too. I was thinking I was going to do this all the time, and for whatever reason, I only did it once. One fucking time.
I think I did it one time, and it was
when I was driving
disgusting.
limos. I just lifted up my shirt, shot one all over my stomach, put the shirt down, patted it down,
Like a
went about my
soldier,
merry way.
You see what I'm saying? Who
Coming
gives a
back from
fuck?
New Hampshire.
I did the week one time. I was dumb enough to take a week because I was a coked out fucking savage at the Houston Little Club.
The Little Club?
The Little Club on the south side.
Oh, that's the one that Ralphie used to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they put you up in a hotel.
It's in the middle of nowhere, right? It's like
It's out there. Somebody else took it over now. They sold it and somebody else took it over. That club was there for a long time. They got a different type of audience than West Gray. Let's just say it was completely different than the last stop. So
it's like ranchers.
I went there one Sunday night, and the owner was there, and I did my set. And he goes, when do you want to get booked? And I go, I called Pete. I go, Pete, you mind? He goes, no, take the week. I took the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I do the Thursday night. He's not there. The wife is there. So the same thing fucking happened right before I go on stage. And at that time, my head wasn't in it like that. She came up to me and she's like, listen, I heard rumors, not here. Here we work spotless clean. If you say one bad thing, you're fired.
Oh, those fucking people.
Well, guess what? I shit my pants. I really did. And for the first 15, I tried. I struggled. I was eating death, and then I just let loose, and they went fucking bananas. I said, fuck it. I'll just take the 200 for the night. I don't give a fuck. I walked off. She didn't talk to me. The next night I came in, the husband was there. I pulled him aside. I go, she didn't fucking know. She goes, I explained to her last night what happened. I'm sorry. Danny, that was his name. I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. I go up there, and it was one of those clubs where right here is the stage, and people actually take their drinks, and they're looking at you like this. Mm-hmm. And 20 minutes into my fucking show, I'm looking at this couple, and I'm looking at her, and she's fucked up, Joe Rogan. She's fucked up. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And finally, I keep checking out like every 8 minutes, and she's getting deeper and deeper. She's closing one eye. Once they close the one eye, they're fucked up. And finally, I'll go like this. And she covers her mouth.
No.
And the puke. No. The puke starts shooting out everybody sideways. Like a fucking, what's that thing the kids play in? Like a sprinkler, but just awkward chunks. And then she just let it all out. And she sat there for 5 minutes puking all over herself. Bro, nobody paid. Everybody got up like somebody was shooting. You thought terrorists were shooting in the club. Everybody got up and started running for the fucking door. They had to stop people. She had to pull the barf around her. The boyfriend left her there. The boyfriend just got up and walked out like he didn't know nothing. Here's 100. I don't know nothing. You didn't see me with me. Give me back my credit card. I never went back there again. Once somebody pukes on stage, I can't hang out with you no more.
It's amazing, like the bad advice they give you early on in your stand-up career.
I want to shoot them all in the fucking head.
They would always tell you can't make it if you're dirty. Like they tell you can't make it. I mean, I can't remember how many times I heard that. What is this fucking pipe? Holy shit.
Somebody gave me that in Cleveland. That's the savage stuff. We only let them out for special occasions.
This thing's amazing.
Oh, my God.
Do the people at home see this thing?
Oh, that thing is fucking tremendous.
Oh, who did this work?
Somebody in Cleveland gave it.
There's a whole industry, like a whole art form now, glass pipe art form industry. I mean, there's amazing artists that are just doing glass art.
I got another one at the house. The kid gave me that. I don't even want to smoke out of it. It's so beautiful.
Incredible. I need a picture of this fucker.
That's the Savage. That's the original right there. He's missing the tooth.
I need a picture.
He don't give a fuck.
What kind of advice do they give you for someone puking on you when you're on stage?
They didn't say nothing.
They can't give you advice for that.
There was no advice. I walked off the stage and knew I wasn't going to be ever there ever again. You understand me? That's what I knew for sure.
Look at me, Joey.
There's some places you fucking go and you know you're never going to go back to.
They would just tell you, like, they would give you advice. Like, when you're young, you're starting out. Like, say if you're a young guy and you're a fan
Who pulled you over?
Pryor. Everybody.
Let me know the people who
Everybody.
pulled you over.
Everybody.
That you look at today and go, what's
I don't
happening?
want to say their names because they never made it. They'd never made it. The one guy that did make it, that had already made it at the time, who gave me the opposite advice, was Lenny Clark. It was funny because his brother Mike was a booking agent who's a great guy. Mike Clark, that guy paid my rent fucking many times with his gigs because he was one of the guys that he had a lot of satellite rooms. He had Giggles and Saugus on Route 1. And he had a few outside rooms, and he would book his brother Lenny. And Lenny was on HBO. He had done Rodney Dangerfield special. Lenny was a big comic. He'd done a bunch of movies. Like, Lenny was big. And this is before Lenny's sitcom. Remember when he had that sitcom? And I opened up for Lenny's at Jay's in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It was in Western Massachusetts. It was way out there, like 2.5, 3 hours away from Boston. And people loved it there because it was a real stage and they had real comedy there. Like, they had Lenny Clark when Lenny Clark was big. And I went up and I opened up for Lenny. It was the second paid gig I ever got in my life. And I got off stage, and Mike Clark said, "Buddy, you're fucking funny, but I can't book you. You're too dirty." And he goes, "That bit you do about Madonna, you can't do that. It's like, it's funny, but I know you got to clean it up. You got to clean it up." And so Lenny comes off stage right after his brother gives me advice. Lenny goes off stage. He goes, "Kid, you are fucking hilarious." He goes, "Don't change a thing. Holy shit, that Madonna bit had me laughing my balls off." And he goes, "Lenny, I just told him to stop doing that bit." He goes, "Oh, yeah. You should probably stop doing it. It's going to be hard to get work. But fuck, kid, you're funny." And it was like good advice and bad advice. And I listened to Lenny. I was like, his brother's a great guy and everything like that. But Lenny is Lenny Clark. So to have Lenny Clark tell you you're funny, I was like, oh, wow, that was huge for me. But his brother was giving me bad advice. He's like, but he wanted me to work. It was like, but that was the thing back then. It was in 1989 or 1988. Back then, you couldn't work if you were dirty. Like, there was no work. Everybody wanted to get on the Tonight Show. No, there was a few HBO specials that had been given out, like Kinnison and a few other people, but you had to be somebody to get those. If you wanted to be dirty, you had to be somebody already. So what it was a lot of these guys who were, quote unquote dirty, they would have clean sets that they would do on The Tonight Show or Letterman or whatever, and then they would have a few dirty bits that they would reserve for a nightclub, and they would close with those bits. So if they ever did an HBO special, that's when they would do those.
I knew I had to be dirty 3 years in. Like, I was just lying to myself. People would come up to me with that fucking bullshit. And I gave it a New York try.
I tried it,
but it just didn't work out for me.
I'm not going to ask you to do a joke, but, like, what was a clean premise for you? I don't even know a clean premise for you, to be honest.
That's old weed.
Oh, is it? All right.
A clean premise in those days was...
Pen.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
A clean premise.
Hold on. A clean premise in those days was a Godzilla.
Oh, look
What
at
would
that.
Godzilla do?
Oh, you gotta look at this thing. You guys are advanced here.
What would Godzilla do if he came back into the Hudson? It was terrible. It was terrible. It was brutally terrible. I had a thing about a ship going into the Hudson. I had a thing about speakers. You could put them back in the windows because Bose, something electric. It was just a horror show. It was a fucking horror show.
I can't imagine you making electronic jokes.
Joey used to try to be clean in the early days when I first saw him.
It was a nightmare.
Joey was trying to deal with agents and managers. When you first moved to LA,
oh my God,
when we first became friends.
Nightmare.
Yeah, you were dealing with all
It was
those
a
people.
nightmare. And one day you go, you know what? It really doesn't matter. I never had that nowhere else. I went to karate since I was a kid. Nobody's let me do these things. Nobody's laughed at you.
Well, you know what the difference is? One of the big ones is in karate, you don't want anybody hitting you. Like, people hit each other. You hurt each other. Like, there was a camaraderie that we had in martial arts, but it was always still a little weird because you would spar. And when you'd spar, you'd hurt each other. And the jiu-jitsu, you spar, and you could be real good friends. You could go full blast, and the better you get, actually, the safer it is to go full blast. Because I know that there's certain guys, they'll get you in something, and you can tap, and they have full control. You're not going to get hurt. It's almost like the guys who aren't as good are more dangerous because they're going to try to yank on something, and they could wind up injuring you. So like when you get like guys who you become like real competitive with, and you get that camaraderie, it's actually better. And you're super competitive with each other, but always super supportive and really friendly. Because you can be like, you want a guy to like you. You want to like each other, and you can still go full blast. Like I've had real good friends tap me. And it's not a bad thing at all. It's not a
giggle.
bad thing.
I love it.
It is what it is, Like Eddie's tapped me every time we've rolled. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 times I've ever rolled with him and just stalemated him, like kept him off me, like being just 100% defensive. Most of the time he catches me 2 or 3 times every time we roll. But we're best friends, A million guys from that gym. It's the same story. Like Denny's caught me before, and
he just won.
He's the greatest guy ever. He just won, yeah. And he's had a lot of neck problems. He's had some neck problems lately.
When I went up there, we worked on the Breath of Fire.
He's a bad motherfucker.
He's a bad motherfucker. You ever broke on the Breath of Fire, cocksucker?
I don't know what that is.
Well, we'll do it tomorrow. Joe Rogan, I love you.
I love you too, brother.
11 o'clock.
It was fun to do this, man.
Yeah, no. Thank you for coming.
It was a pleasure.
The candle burned out. Once the candle burns out,
it's time to go. Oh, Jesus. That was a real fart. That sounded like you threw a fucking M80 into a bucket of water.